forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell
so we can go to college and get more knowledge.
Buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be a deep dive into WorldCoin and the issues that they're already having. They're facing legal troubles and they've been evicted. What is WorldCoin? WorldCoin is a cryptocurrency that's free to everyone on Earth by simply scanning your iris. It's OpenAI's CEO Sam Altman, who's a protege of Klaus Schwab, founder of the World Economic Forum. This project is funded by A16Z, Coinbase Ventures, and Sam Bankman-Fried himself. Some of the best cronies of Klaus Schwab, if you could get them all in a room right there. The team projects 1 billion users in the next 2 years. Sam Altman's mentor, Klaus Schwab, wrote a book that I quote all the time. It's the fourth industrial revolution. In the book, he talks about digital megatrends. And in those megatrends, he says that consider remote monitoring a widespread application of Internet of Things. Any package, pallet, or container can now be equipped with a sensor, transmitter, or radio frequency identification, RFID for short, tag that allows a company to track where it is as it moves through the supply chain, how it's performing, how it's being used, and so on. Similarly, customers can continuously track, particularly in real time, the progress of the package or document they're expecting. For companies that are in business of operating long and complex supply chains, this is transformative. In the near future, similar monitoring systems will also be applied to the movement and tracking of people. You don't need conspiracies when the man is telling you this from his mouth. At the moment, blockchain technology records financial transactions made with digital currencies such as Bitcoins. It will in the future serve as a register for all things as different as birth and death certificates, titles of ownership, marriage license, educational degrees, insurance claims, medical procedures, and votes. Essentially any kind of transaction that can be expressed in code. The iris scanning technology sure would make that useful in identifying everybody in the world. But at what cost are we willing to trade? WorldCoin is big in Africa, as many of you may have seen on the internet. African countries have been sites for clinical trials by large pharmaceutical companies for decades. The lack of unethical experimentation, clinical trials, lacking proper informed consent, and forced procedures, all are alleged in Africa. For example, we have meningitis in the 90s in Abdullah versus Pfizer, HIV testing in Zimbabwe on its citizens, forced sexual reassignment in South Africa in the 70s and 80s, forced contraception in Zimbabwe in the 70s, sterilization experiments from the 1800s until the 1910s. Why do I bring that up? Because this is the testing ground for WorldCoin. But I think it's ironic that this time there's a little bit of justice being done. I show you this to say that I believe Africans are kind of tired of people coming in and taking control of their situations. And as you can see here, this is from a Kenyan paper, The Standard. As a commission, we are preparing guidelines for collecting data. We've stopped 2 buildings from collecting biometrics. And this is huge. In Kenya, Nairobi to be exact, WorldCoin's office was raided and suspended from operations in Kenya. And this is important. And the reason why they're finally waking up. It's time that we as a people finally wake up and recognize what's at stake here. It's a lot more than just $25. Anytime anybody offers you something for free, there's usually a catch. And the Kenyan police seized the documents and machines during a raid after the government raised regulatory concerns over the company's data collection methods. And this is what a lot of people fail to realize. They say that I'm not a criminal. I'm not doing anything wrong. So why do I care that they want my information? Here's an example why. Edward Snowden who is the famous whistleblower for the atrocities that the American government was doing on its own people through NSA, says looks like it produces a global hash database of people's iris scans for fairness, and waves away the implications by saying, "We delete the scans." Yeah, but you save the hashes produced by the scans, hashes that match future scans. Don't catalog eyeballs. And who do we have championing WorldCoin himself? Sam Altman, the man, the protege of Klaus Schwab. Don't use biometrics for anti-fraud. In fact, don't use biometrics for anything. The human body is not a ticket to punch. And here he shows that it says on their website, Phase 1, sign up and unique check. The user generates a semaphore keypad on their phone. The user presents the hashed public key, QR. The orb scans the user's iris and locally computes the user's iris hash. The orb sends the signed message containing the hash, public key, and the iris hash to the sign-up sequencer node. The sequencer node verifies the orb signature, then checks if the iris hash does not match any already in the database. If the uniqueness check passes, the iris hash and the public key are saved. So it's not as transparent as they claim. And if the goal is to sign everyone up in the world to this, you really have to ask yourself, why would they be willing to pay everybody? There has to be some astronomical trade-off that they're not telling us. So I just think it's really interesting that somebody has finally stepped up and put a stop to their tactics in their own country. Somebody else on Twitter showed this about their contract, and it says that if you read right above where it's highlighted, below are a list of possible risks that may arise if we transfer your sensitive data to the United States, the European Union, or any other country. Please note that this list contains examples but may not include all possible risks to you. Because we are located in the United States, we are not directly subject to the jurisdiction of the data privacy laws of the European Union or any other jurisdiction, including your country. If you are a resident of the European Union and you share your data with us, we are required to comply with the GDPR, but it may be more difficult to assert your privacy rights in court in the United States if we do not comply. So they're basically telling you right there, we don't have to. And we do, but if we don't, there's nothing you can do in America because that's where we're at. And it says further, if we share your data with any third parties outside your country, with or without your permission, that third party may not be subject to the GDPR or the data privacy laws of your country. And if the third party decides to use or share your data for purposes not described in this consent form or in our privacy policy against you, it may be difficult or even impossible to assert your privacy rights against that third party. Is it really a stretch to believe that WorldCoin could share this information with the World Economic Forum? I don't know. Or maybe governments that are looking for somebody. The choice is yours to make. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below.